spent over $100 on a single Hoya leaf only to watch it die back to nothing because I ignored one simple rule of desert living. Hi, Michelle here. I've lived in the desert for over 30 years, so I know what 6% humidity feels like. But when I started my Hoya journey 7 years ago, I had to learn the hard way that the standard plant advice and desert reality are two totally different things. Behind my collection of 160 thriving Hoyas, or mostly thriving Hoyas, is a trail of investment plants that didn't make it. I'm talking about the ones I saved up for, the ones I tracked obsessively in the mail, and the ones that broke my heart when they spiraled down. Today, I'm being totally transparent about my 4 most expensive Hoya fails. First up is the Hoya latifolia, formerly known as the Sarawak. I wanted this large dinner plate leaf Hoya so badly that I spent over $100 on a single leaf and a single node. I thought that a larger leaf would be tougher, but those big leaves were actually leaking water into the dry desert air just as fast as the plant could drink. I imagined a vertical wall of giant Sarawak leaves in a large rectangular planter with a fan trellis over it. Clearly, my imagination was doing better than my hydrometer that day. In 10% humidity, the plant couldn't move water fast enough to acclimate. It died back to a single leaf. It's grown a little since then, but it's still pretty small. Now, I always look for multiple nodes when I'm buying. It gives the plant and me some breathing room if things go south. Next up is the inner variegated Hoya Bella. This plant is a lesson in genetics. I treated it like a standard Bella, which is usually a desert champion. But inner variegation means less chlorophyll and a much more sensitive root system. I used my standard setup, but it was just too much moisture for a plant with so little fuel in its leaves. It rotted in record time, twice. The lesson? Mutations are divas. If you've ever spent big on variegation, you have to baby them way more than the green versions. Then there's the Hoya Serpens. My heart wanted those cute, fuzzy little leaves. But my research said this plant loves the cold, and it also likes less light. Even in winter here, it's not truly cold. And in the summer, my grow cabinet behind me hits over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I tried to fight the desert, but when your AC is fighting 118-degree heat, a Serpens is always one hot day away from death. I learned to stop fighting the heat with the Serpens and just go ahead and put it in the darkest part of the cabinet, close to a fan, and basically ignore it for a while. I have a Serpens now. It's on the top shelf of my Mills bow, and it's actually behind all the other plants underneath a little pegboard shelf. This location is actually causing it to grow pretty well right now. While I learned to stop fighting with the Serpens, my next big fail taught me that even the most thirsty plants can survive this wrong soil in this air. Finally, we get to the Hoya linearis. This is my kryptonite. Every plant grower has one, and mine is the linearis. I've bought multiple beautiful specimens, and I've killed every single one. I used a chunky substrate that dried out in 2 days in our air. By the time the leaves shriveled, the roots were already gone. Now, I never trust a thirsty Hoya in a super chunky mix. I add coconut husk chips and tree fern fiber to hold moisture. Also, I use clear pots. Don't let an opaque pot stop you from keeping an eye on those roots. Losing an expensive plant is just tuition for the school of Hoya growing. These 4 failures taught me more about my environment than any easy plant ever could. Now I want to hear from you. What is the most expensive plant you've ever lost? And what did it teach you? Let's share our fails together in the comments. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. I know that you have a lot of things that you could do with your time, and I really appreciate that you chose to spend that with me today. Until next time, I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.
I stand alone in silent space, no sounds to